Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be talking all about this beast of the battlefield, the Tier 10 Italian reward medium tank. It is the Lion. Now this vehicle, it feels like ages ago for me that it went into the game, even though it was literally at the start of this month. The Lion went in the assembly shop, and you could spend about 1 million free experience to be able to get it, or you could lower the free experience burden by adding in things like blueprints, credits, or bonds. I managed to get the Lion across 2 accounts. On my primary account, I actually managed to get the skinned version with the unique ID tag of 41 because I was super sweaty and managed to click faster. I think I managed to purchase it all in about 5 seconds to be able to achieve that. On my free-to-play account, however, I didn't manage to then go across onto the free-to-play account in a couple of minutes and purchase it. So I didn't get the fancy skin, but I decided to put on one of my styles that I got for getting champion rank inside the recent Onslaught game mode. So today's video I want to talk about whether I regret the Lion. Do I have buyer's remorse? Everybody out there has probably experienced buyer's remorse at least one time in their life. Did you buy that ultra expensive, really big television and you think like, oh god, now I've got to either pay for it slowly on my credit card, or hopefully you bought it outright and you don't actually buy it on the credit card because it's one of those stupid things you can do with your money, right? Who am I to judge anyway? I'm playing video games on the internet for a living. I digress. Everyone's had buyer's remorse. One thing that I did recently is I bought like a vacuum cleaner, specifically like a micro one for a computer, and it's bloody garbage. I think I spent £50 on it off Amazon and it's just absolutely useless. I should just got one of those like air dusters instead and just bought a bunch of them. I thought, well, if I get one that's rechargeable, it's actually going to be good and then I won't have to buy like the aerosol cans or whatever. Wrong. It's awful. I should go and probably put like a negative review on Amazon. That's my buyer's remorse. Even though I love you, Amazon, you know, considering that you own Twitch and everything. It's not your fault if you've got a crappy product on there, right? I digress again for the second time. So, do I have buyer's remorse of the Lion? Considering I spent 500,000 free experience on my free-to-play account, stripped most of the blueprints off my account, and I also ponied up 8,000 bonds as well. Well, the long story short, no. I have absolutely zero buyer's remorse when it comes to this tank. This vehicle is just so fun to play. It's a wonderful tank for just when you don't know what you want to play. Dip into it, and it's just this all-can-do vehicle. I love the auto-reloading capacity of it. I love the fact that it has 3,150 base damage per minute before you start stacking up things like a premium consumable and you get all of the field mods. And I love the fact that if you just dump out the rounds as well, you are packing 1,680 damage, making even auto-loading heavy tanks like a VZ55 start to question their life. In this situation, I fire the 4th shell. Now, it's always a danger with the Lion. If you fire the 4th shell, it's a 21-second reload compared to an 8-second reload on reloading the 2nd shell of this tank. So you only ever want to fire that 4th shell if it's like an emergency situation. And I felt in that scenario, A, I get to secure a kill, B, maybe the VZ55 was going to get the 2nd shot into the 430, and considering what a hero push that was by Jambo71 on our team, I didn't want to let him down. So sure, this was an extremely expensive purchase for a free-to-play account. 500,000 free experience I spent on this. That would be enough to probably make at least 10, if not 20 tanks playable and be able to skip out the grinds of stock vehicles, which is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, the best way to spend your free experience inside World of Tanks. But this vehicle's just gameplay, for me at least, it was totally worth it. And while it's probably going to take me another year or 2 of grinding on my free-to-play account to be able to get that kind of free experience, I would rather actually play stock tanks and try to make use of premium time when you have it from the battle pass, or just trying to make use of Wargaming's top of the tree events to be able to progress as quickly as you can through those stock vehicles with the 5x experience game that you get for your 2nd win of the day, and then hoard my free experience to be able to purchase ultra fun vehicles like this. So in this scenario, I'm going to ram the Char there for 336, which also allows me to reload the 4th shell, so I can finish off the Char instead, and then turn my attention to a UDES. Now the VZ55 gives me a thumbs up. I'm not sure if he's being... I'm not sure if he was, like, actually giving me a thumbs up there because I ended up helping him. Or whether he was kind of thinking, well, I've got this char, so it should have been my kill. But this tank, it naturally kill steals. All auto-reloaders in the game naturally kill steal, because you never fire your final shot unless you know that it's going to be the final blow to the enemy tank. And so it's lovely like that. It's kind of like guilt-free kill stealing. That's not exactly the reason why I love the vehicle, but it's just nice to be able to control the situation. And when you've got a vehicle like this that's fast, it's got great damage per minute, it's got a great magazine, and it doesn't even have low penetration like a lot of autoloaders like the TVP does with its 248mm of APCR. This gets AP, which remember gets 2 degrees extra normalization and 258mm of pen. Then this tank just feels lovely. I've been going in situations like this. I'm going to make sure I get behind the FV215B183, and I make a bit of a misplay here while I'm aiming. I should have reversed there, but luckily for me, I'm fast, right? And the FV misses me, which means that I can comfortably get the extra shot into this British Tier 10 tank destroyer and then start reloading Hesh rounds. And in the 6 minutes of this game, I'm now up to 7,600 damage with 1,000 spotting, and I've managed to secure kills on over half of the enemy team, getting myself a Radley Walters medal with only one vehicle left who seems to be on about half hit points, and I'm hoping that my Hesh rounds, which have even more damage on this tank and great penetration as well, we're talking about 510 alpha damage and 105mm of pen, will be enough to be able to secure the kill for this absolute king of the battlefield. Well, look, just because this tank is my playstyle, I will fully admit that I feel that in my tank review, I might have been a little bit too hyped about this tank. And while I do think it lives up to the hype, especially now that Wargaming are completely unnecessarily nerfing the Progetto 65 in update 120, which will be arriving on Wednesday for the European server, that just adds even more argument to this vehicle for it being probably the most fun auto reloader you can currently play at tier 10. And while I personally thought that the Lion was going to be packing a better win ratio than its flat average 50%, that's not bad for a reward tank that was distributed so many across the European server just a month ago. And already we see that the Lion has the 4th best average damage of any of the tier 10 medium tanks, and the highest of any vehicle that was available for wide release and isn't gated behind participation in clan wars. And while I personally think it was going to be even more overpowered than this, that's probably because it just ended up matching my playstyle. I love auto reloaders in World of Tanks. It's an added level of complexity that you can add to your game to make better decisions to deal with whatever situation is in front of you. And the result is this tank that I can always just dip into and play irrelevant of my mood, and it always seems to just come out with fun gameplay. Even in a loss, you feel like you got a chance with that magazine. And when you get into those snowball kind of games where you get those dream scenarios where you get to unload the mag, reload while you're traveling for 45 seconds, unload the mag again in a frenetic gameplay, yeah, you can have some miraculous results like this game on our free-to-play account here with over 8,000 damage, 9 kills, and I even made profit without a premium account. So all in all, the Lion, it was undoubtedly my biggest purchase on my free-to-play account ever, and it probably will end up being my biggest purchase ever on that account, as it's not a sustainable thing to do, and I had to save up for like a year or two to be able to afford this tank. Now, was it worth the effort and the sacrifice of not spending all of that free experience on stock tanks and like biting my hands and just grinding through it? Yeah, for this one, it was. But my sympathy goes out to all of you out there who kind of got caught up in the hype and maybe this isn't the tank for you. Or alternatively, other players out there, especially the free-to-play players, who just don't really have enough time to decide whether a vehicle is going to be the one that they want to play, as they never get a chance to test them. They sell out in hours, like the Lion did on the European server, and that's even at the extortionate pricing of 1 million free experience that the Lion went for. And all that's really left to say is that I hope the Wargaming don't continue to take this further. While it is fun for Wargaming to have the assembly shop and to create content for all of their whales out there like me, I really, really hope that this doesn't become a 6-monthly thing, as it's impossible to keep up with unless you throw your wallet at the screen. But you think that might be why Wargaming's doing it in the first place? Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for an awesome round in an awesome tank, which is so close to my heart, even a month after having it. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments if you bought the Lion and whether you regret purchasing it. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Sunday, it's time for the World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase live later today on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this week, I am playing the most requested tank, which is the IS-4. So come along as I showcase one of the most scary side-scraping tanks inside the game with an awesome series of vehicles that leads up towards it. Some heavy hitters and some great rammers in the form of the KV-4. So really looking forward to seeing you all live on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic and hopefully I'll see you soon.